able to protect you during some of these rallies and political instances. I was very really saddened by the journalists who were injured in Homa Bay. That was really very sad. And you know, you cannot tell journalists not to cover. You can't even tell them go home because they have to cover every incident, even when the people are going home. And I must say that there has to be DIG, the IG and the team must work closely with the media houses to see how best we can protect journalists. And to even when deploying, we have a keen eye on where the reporters are so that they do not find themselves in the midst of this violence. Thank you, DIG, so that then people of Kenya can get proper reporting. But in the same spirit, please, be responsible. You see, you watch the news now, story number 1, hate speech. And it's only given to certain political actors. Story number 2, the same people. Story number 3, the same one. Good news is when people have gone to sleep. Yeah. In fact, don't be surprised that the story of today may not find space, maybe number 10 or there. Yeah. When people talk about good things, about the good of the country, usually it never gets the space. But very small stories and then cutting some statements. When you go and cut my speech in a small clip, without the context. And then you start saying, the minister said, if you know that there will be criminals in a particular place, rally, you should not go. You must contextualize, you know, you must put the context in place. Otherwise, and then you start saying, the minister said, everybody take care of yourself, there will be no police in your rallies. You must deal with the context. And you demean the institutions. You limit, and before you report anything about IBC, I prefer you be even more careful. You better be reckless with me. I'm not saying you do, but once you do what you do with IBC, and then people lose faith with IBC, because which alternative do you have? You know, which alternative do you have? Do you have another commission to take care of elections? So let's also, all of us, become responsible in the things we do. I am a very strong consumer and beneficiary of media, and I believe that responsibly deployed, it can protect our country. The National Police Service arrested 27 hardcore criminals who were targeting the rallies in Homa Bay. They are now in police cells waiting to be charged. I will be observing with keen interest to see what the magistrates will do. But Kenyans must give credit to the police for actually taking those preventive measures. And we must encourage the police when you see them doing the right thing, not only bashing them all the time. The political officers are for 0.0001%. Less than 2,000 people looking to serve us. But we are using money. The chairman is asking money, IG is asking for money, everybody's asking for money to protect 2,000 people from burning the country. And then the rest of us who are 49,800,000, yeah? 998,000 now are busy fighting ourselves so that the 2,000 can get space in government. It's such a paradox. And therefore, I must say that we need to become very vigilant in this messaging. Can we have leaders stop talking about my community, my tribe, I shudder when I see a leader say, "Mimi nataka kuambia Wajaluo, Wakalenjin, Wakikuyu," and he speaks so. And then what will you tell Kenyans? You know, Kenya belongs to all Kenyans. Citizens have the right to campaign, live, work, invest, and participate peacefully in every part of Kenya. And to marry anyone. Yeah, to marry from any part of Kenya. You know, I have been threatened. I've been threatened that my wife and my children will be withdrawn. So I was very concerned. And I was asking myself, why does, even if you withdraw my wife, what do you do with her? She has 4 boys. So anyway, let me not go there. But I'm just saying that this rhetoric is very bad. Yeah. Just imagine young people watching and dating their girlfriends or boyfriends from different communities. And they're watching leaders who are aspiring the highest office in the country, trying to even interfere with family setups. So this is the kind of narrative. I don't know. I mean, I wish there was a law that gave IBC even greater power to ban people from running. Because the hygiene of our politics really needs. In Homa Bay, the other day, the National Police Service deployed police officers to escort Linda Wananchi campaigners, both in Sindo and Nyandiwa. It was during the day. And everybody can see the pictures were there. Police were escorting Orengo and the team. They went to the rally. They did 2 rallies. They finished the rallies. When they were going to Homa Bay town, at about 6 p.m., it's becoming dark. The county security team and the regional security team advised them that it is good to call off the rally because it's dark. And you can see there are incidences of violence here. Please call off the rallies. What did they say? They say they must go to town. We must exercise our democracy. What happened? 1 police officer died, 4 of them were injured, cars were burned, and so forth. Later, when I told people that the best thing at that point in time was the politicians to call off the rally and come another day. What is happening now in the media spaces? Oh, the minister is speaking irresponsibly. Do you want to tell me that political leaders have no duty, and they do not have duty at that point in time in darkness to tell their supporters there is another day we will come here? Do you want to say that it was police had to be there by all means, even in darkness, without giving that warning that we want to have? Ladies and gentlemen, we advise the people who organize rallies that we have rights to have rallies and political rights, but we have responsibility to work with the security team to ensure that we protect our people. And that's why when I say these things, I see people cracking jokes around it. This is not a joking matter. The national security architecture, the cabinet secretary telling you here, I'm not speaking about my own things. I'm speaking about assessed security information. That there will be times that the citizens will be told enough is enough, let's go home. It is not fair to lose lives in the circumstance and the environment that we are in, so that then we can safeguard the lives of the people of Kenya. The most effective security response is the one that prevents violence before it starts. I have been accused of public saying, oh, we know some politicians, you're planning this, we know you're doing this. You need to differentiate between, and then people say, okay, so you know, why don't you arrest them? Why don't you arrest them? Why are you not, We must also differentiate between intelligence and evidence, When we have security intelligence, we use it to warn people. It's part of the, early warning. We use it to expose the politicians or the actors who will want to destroy our country. We use it to warn citizens and to ask them to cooperate. But what amounts to ability for a police officer to arrest someone and take to court is when you have evidence, not intelligence. And if you're a lawyer, you will understand the difference between the two. Because we, in the security sector, are consumer of intelligence information that may not stand the test of court as evidence, we have to use that information to warn people early, to tell them we know some people are trying to do this. Sometimes you position police officers in certain areas in the event that they actualize what you have collected in the evidence. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But you use that for deployment and for positioning. And therefore, when people say, why did you arrest these people early? They have not reached the threshold where you can arrest. You will arrest, you will present them before court, you will be told, you will actually be told that you're using rumors to arrest people. Security is not simply the absence of violence. It is an environment in which Kenyans can assemble, campaign, speak, vote, and engage in public life without intimidation or fear. And I've emphasized the word intimidation or fear. Because the rhetoric that is out there now is that people are being told that if we hear you campaigning for X and Y, yeah, you are ostracized, you are msaliti, you are betrayer. That is violence. That is violence. Violence doesn't have to be there guns and stones. The moment someone feels like, if I have in a certain, community or locality, I cannot be allowed to speak about my political views freely because I have been intimidated. In fact, to the extent that politicians are saying, if we find an agent of a political party or a certain political player, we will do something to you. That is violence. That is violence. And so the same people speak on both sides. They're talking about goons and they're propagating violence in the same meeting. So we need an environment that which Kenyans can assemble, campaign, speak, vote, and engage in public life without intimidation or fear. And let me say this, why I agree with everybody who has said here that security is not about police, it's not about National Police Service, it's about all of us. It's because just imagine how many police officers do you need to deploy to monitor every activity that is going to happen in the country? You can't. There has to be a culture in this and the acceptance in the society among all of us that we want to have an environment that is peaceful. And therefore, it starts with us. Interestingly, Bishop, now that you are here and you are Bishop, interestingly, this is the same country that calls itself 80% religious. And most of them say they are Christians. And these statements are being made in church, And the bishop will conclude with a prayer without standing and saying, no, I disagree with what these people have said here. Members of this church, go home, vote for whoever you want to vote for, you will still go to heaven. It is the same. It's the same environment. It's until now, another day, another person, and then we say we are Christians, we are Muslims, we are religious, we are going to heaven. Which heaven?